Most of these rivers had historic river crest. We could be looking at a Category 4 hurricane. The street is just littered with debris like this. That's a lot of water, folks. We're already starting to see some flooding happening here. This retaining wall has failed. There could be live wires in that water. The Rockaway River, in fact, was raging so much this afternoon and from the weekend that it actually eroded away at parts of 287. But right now it is really coming down. Rain, sleet, and snow to start. I think everything changes over to snow in a few hours. Another round of significant winter weather that we're going to have to clean up for your Thursday morning.
Dave, 8,000 horsepower. Would you ever get behind the wheel of one of those?
Yeah, if the engine wasn't on, I'd get behind it.
What does it taste like, Dave?
It tastes like deep-fried deliciousness, Roxanne!
Right now we're going to talk to meteorologist Dave Curren. How strong are the winds expected to be, Dave?
The winds could be as strong as 75 miles an hour. Right now, I'm thinking on average, all of New Jersey is going to be dealing with a steady wind of about 40 to almost 60 miles an hour as we go through the overnight hours. So let's walk over to the weather wall. We're going to be talking about this storm for quite some time. What we're noticing, you're going to notice something here. I'm going to point something out, give you a little meteorological lesson on storm surge. You're going to notice this counterclockwise spin here around Virginia Beach. The winds are coming around and moving in out of the east-southeast. So that's pushing all of that water, all of that ocean water up against our shoreline. And we're calling for a storm surge of 3 to 6 feet, which is going to create for some coastal flooding. What is storm surge? Take a look at this graphic. What's happening is all of these winds are being funneled right up against and pushing all of this ocean water, if you will, okay, up against the beaches. So what's going to happen is that wall of water actually rises another 3 to 6 feet and moves inland. You'll see it here where you can see these waves going in. The tides are elevated. We're also looking at a higher than normal tide because of the new moon, but we're looking at those tides running another 3 to 6 feet above mean water level. That's just where the water would normally be at a normal high tide. With a storm surge, you start to see that water level rising. You notice it beats up against the shoreline and begins to erode away at those beaches as well. So this is not a good thing, especially for the barrier islands of New Jersey. That's what's protecting most of Ocean and Atlantic County, are those barrier islands. And just recently we had that sand surplus being put onto those barrier islands, places like Harvey Cedar. So this storm system is going to eat away at that. Let's take a look at some of the traffic cameras that we have around the area. This is Little Ferry in Bergen County along Route 46. That's a lot of water, folks. We're already starting to see some flooding happening here in the Bergen County area. This is going to be a scenario. This is just part one of the flooding that we're worried about. All of this happening out there right now is a direct result from just the rain. This does not have anything to do with the river. So this is all the rain that is falling and is now beginning to accumulate on our streets and on our sidewalks. So this is going to be a very long and drawn out event. We're probably not going to watch the rains begin to subside here in New Jersey until sometime tomorrow afternoon. Your times of high tide, unfortunately, this is where we're expecting some more coastal flooding to take place, and we're looking at that storm surge of about 3 to 6 feet. Now for tonight, it's warm, muggy. We have those tropical storm or maybe even hurricane-like conditions taking you through the overnight hours. It's a wind-driven rain that's out there. First half of Sunday is very stormy, and I think we'll probably break into some sunshine late Sunday afternoon, and that's the scenario for the rest of the week. Sunny skies and comfortable temperatures, which will give us a chance and an opportunity to begin to dry out and clean up from the floodwaters. In less than 10 minutes, I'm going to have another update to the track of Irene and what that means for New Jersey. Stay with us. There's more News 12 coming right up. You never want to drive through an area of roadway that is covered by water. You don't know what's there. You don't know what type of debris is there. If the car conks out, now you're stuck. Better to find a different way to get home. Very frightening scenes from Cranford, especially there on North Avenue and Springfield Avenue, where the river was rushing up and it just looked like there were rapids right in front of the riverside. And it's just amazing the power of water. We are looking at the flood warning map, and we're going to be this way for probably another 24 hours in many locations here in New Jersey, but right along the Passaic, these flood warnings will continue until possibly the weekend. Why? Well, we've got the Passaic River right here, very large body of water, but unfortunately we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rivers feeding into the Passaic River. Most of these rivers had historic river crest. So all of this unprecedented water is now beginning to fill up in this area right here. Fairfield, Patterson, Lincoln Park, Wayne, Little Falls. You know the routine. You've seen the flooding before. You're going to see it from now until possibly the weekend. The Rockaway River, in fact, was raging so much this afternoon and from the weekend that it actually eroded away at parts of 287. So make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. Cara DeFalco is going to have the latest details on all the traffic headaches that are out there because of the problems from Irene, but I'm very concerned about the structural stability of 287 there in the Boonton area as that Rockaway River fed right into the Boonton Reservoir. Just unprecedented damage that we've seen. I do have some good news for you. We're going to take a look at the water vapor loop in the atmosphere. There's not a whole lot of weather going on out here. This is some dry weather from Perth Amboy all the way back to Chicago. Next batch of storms will ride along the jet stream winds and possibly get to us by, let's say, late Sunday going into Monday. Right now, the weekend is looking good. Labor Day weekend. Probably notice an uptick in clouds for your Sunday with maybe a few spotty showers developing on Monday. But until then, it is sunny and it is dry, and that's going to allow New Jersey to dry out hopefully a little quicker. In less than 10 minutes, I'll have another update to the forecast. Right now, guys, we're going to send it back over to you. Hi, New Jersey. I'm meteorologist Dave Curren, and thanks for joining us for Weather Wonders, where I'm simplifying the mysteries of weather. Today's Weather Wonder is an age-old question. Why is the sky blue? Well, to answer that, we need to understand how light travels through the atmosphere. And it does that in waves. The colors we see are based on the lengths of those waves. Now, our eyes see the shorter wavelengths as blues and violets, and we see the longer wavelengths as reds and oranges. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. I've got some water here in this glass vase, and this is going to represent the sky, the atmosphere, the air, whatever you want to call it. And I've got some milk right here. Now, this milk is going to represent the air particles, the gas molecules that make up the atmosphere. Now, if we dim the lights, you can actually see what happens when these wavelengths make their way through the particles in the atmosphere. Now, when the sun shines overhead, or in this case my flashlight, look what happens. See that bluish tint? The milk is reflecting the shorter wavelengths and we see blue. So there you have your blue sky. But wait, if the sun is lower on the horizon, either setting or rising, and as I add a little bit more in the way of air particles to the atmosphere, because the sun's lights have to travel a little bit further, now we see those longer wavelengths and we get those yellows. You can see that yellowish tint right here. And you can see those beautiful yellows and oranges that would make up those fabulous sunsets and sunrises. Well, do you ever wonder about the weather? You can send me your question at weatherwonders@news12.com. And remember, you can always find out what the weather will be right here at news12.com. And hey, while you're on the computer, follow my forecasts on Facebook. That's facebook.com/DCurren12. For News 12 New Jersey, I'm meteorologist Dave Curren.